Hello there. We are so glad that you could join us. Settle in, grab some hot cocoa, and get comfortable as the Fairhaven Christian Academy players present to you the heartwarming Christmas drama, The Tablecloth, by Donald A. Reasoner Jr.
We want to tell you a story about an event that took place many years ago in the boroughs of Brooklyn, New York. The year was 1947. The country still had painful memories of the Great War that had recently been fought, but they were valiantly trying to move on.
It was in this setting that a young pastor, fresh out of Bible school, accepted a position at a local church whose facility, and worse yet, congregation, had been neglected for years. In fact, the church had not even held any worship services for months.
The young minister and his wife accepted the challenge of rebuilding this sad old church, and with great enthusiasm eagerly began renovating the worship hall in preparation for their first official worship service.
The worship service would take place on Christmas Eve, a fitted night filled with hope and peace and gratitude for all the Lord had done and would do in the hearts of those precious saints who had been neglected for so long.
It's looking pretty good, don't you think?
It looks wonderful. Oh, Robert, you must be so proud.
I'm feeling really pleased and blessed. I think it will be a warm and comfortable place for our new congregation to worship.
The pastor and his wife worked hard, repairing pews, plastering walls, and painting everything. They were filled with the joy and excitement that many young couples feel as they begin their new life and ministry together. And on December 20th, they were actually ahead of schedule and were thrilled to realize that they were just about finished.
But on December 21st, a terrible, unrelenting rainstorm pounded Brooklyn for more than 2 days. On the 23rd of December, as the storm still raged, the young pastor bravely made his way over to the church. As he entered the building, his heart sank.
Look at the worship area. All our hard work.
The worship area was unrecognizable. During the storm, the roof had leaked, and to the pastor's great sadness, the water had caused a large area of plaster to fall off the wall, just behind the pulpit. The terrible hole measured nearly 10 feet wide and 4 feet tall.
I don't even know where to start.
The young man cleaned up the mess as best he could, and fighting off discouragement, decided to call his wife with the bad news before he headed home.
Hello?
Hello, Janet. It's Robert. I'm here at the church, and it's worse than we thought.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
Well, I'm not really sure. For now, I think I'll just come home, and don't wait dinner for me, dear. I think I'll walk instead of taking the car. It'll give me a chance to think and pray. I'll come back and get the car in the morning.
On the way home, he wondered what he could do to fix the hole in such a short time. The task was daunting, and even he wondered if he should cancel the Christmas Eve service scheduled for the next day. He silently yet passionately cried out to God for wisdom and guidance.
walked through the neighborhood, he noticed that a local businessman was hosting a flea market type of sale to raise money for charity, so he stopped in.
One of the items that caught his eye was a beautiful, handmade, ivory-colored, crocheted tablecloth with exquisite work, fine colors, and a cross embroidered right in the center. It was just the right size to cover up the hole on the front wall of the worship hall.
Excuse me, sir. How much for the tablecloth?
You have a keen eye, young man. That tablecloth will be a beautiful addition to your home. Your wife will be thrilled.
Yes. No. It's not for my home. I'm sorry. How much are you asking?
It's a steal at only $25.
He bought it and headed back to the church, thanking God for his provision. By this time, the rain had turned to snow, but the young minister didn't even seem to notice. His heart was a little lighter now, and his step a little quicker as he headed back to the church to hang the magnificent tablecloth.
As he walked, he noticed a woman hurrying from the opposite direction, trying to catch the bus that stopped in front of his church.
Wait! Oh, please wait.
But unfortunately, the bus pulled away from the stop before she could catch up.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know when the next bus leaves the stop?
I don't think another bus comes this way for quite some time.
The pastor seemed to sense a deep sadness in her. He suspected that her age was younger than what she appeared, that somehow whatever wounds she bore had robbed her of her youth. He felt compassion and invited her to wait in the warm church for the next bus, which they discovered would not be long for another 45 minutes.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're very kind.
It's my pleasure. By the way, my name is Robert. My wife and I have just moved to Brooklyn to pastor this small church.
My name is Maria.
It's very nice to meet you, Maria.
We interrupt this telling of the tablecloth to bring you a word from our sponsor.
Are your children sullen, irritable, bored? Do they drag out of bed and tell you how much they don't like going to school each and every morning? Then you should homeschool. Fairhaven Christian Academy is a K-12 co-op that allows your child to get socialized, take fun classes like Radio Plays, and grow their walk with Jesus. They will have lots of fun with their friends on field trips, serving at Children's Hunger Fund, and other special events throughout the year. Science has shown that homeschool kids are smarter, better adjusted, and highly employable. They get lots of training at home washing dishes and mowing lawns, so it's a win-win. Sure, you have to be with your kids day in and day out, but you'll have fun waking up later enjoying school time in your pajamas. If you are ready for freedom, fun, and happy kids, give Fairhaven Christian Academy a call today. 818-434-7533. That's 818-434-7533. One more time, now that you have something to write with. 818-434-7533.
And now we return to the tablecloth to find out what will happen as Maria waits for her bus at Pastor Robert's church.
The pastor led Maria into the church, and she sat quietly in a pew, paying little attention while he retrieved a ladder and other supplies that he needed to hang the tablecloth as a wall tapestry.
The young man whistled pleasantly while he worked, and once finished, he stepped back to admire his work.
Oh my.
He could hardly believe how beautiful it looked. The tablecloth covered the unsightly hole perfectly, and actually added a touch of grace and charm to the old building.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for your provision.
He was so entranced with the beauty of the tablecloth that he didn't notice the woman slowly making her way down the center aisle and up onto the platform.
When he did notice her, her face was ashen, her voice was trembling.
Pastor, where did you get that tablecloth? The pastor explained.
Would you mind checking the lower right corner to see if the initials MBG are crocheted into there?
Sure, let me check. Why, yes, there they are. MBG. But how did you know?
Those are my initials. I made that tablecloth years ago when I was still living in Austria.
Maria explained that before the war, she had crocheted the tablecloth for her new husband as a gift. He was especially fond of it because of the time and love that went into making it. They were young in love, but when the war came, she was forced to leave their home.
Her husband had promised to join her the following week, but before he arrived, she was captured, sent to a prison work camp, and never saw her husband or her home again. The young pastor was deeply moved.
Maria, please, let me return the tablecloth. It's yours.
No, I want you to keep it for your church. It really does look beautiful on your wall, and I think my husband would be very pleased to know it's being used in this way.
You're very kind. Well, let me drive you home. It's the least I can do for your beautiful and generous gift.
Maria gratefully accepted and explained that she lived on the other side of Staten Island and was only in Brooklyn for the day for a house cleaning job.
Please, come back another time. We are...
What a wonderful service they had on Christmas Eve. The church was nearly full, the music was sweet, and the Spirit worked on the hearts of those in attendance. At the end of the service, the pastor and his wife greeted everyone at the door, and to their delight, many said they would return.
Well, Janet, how do you think your husband did conducting his first Christmas Eve service in our new church?
It was a beautiful service, Robert, and I think you're going to make a wonderful pastor.
Thank you, my dear. And I believe we will both be very happy serving in this church. It looks like just about everyone has left. Give me a minute to turn off all the lights, and then we can head home, too. Oh, hello.
Suddenly, the young minister noticed a man still sitting in one of the pews, staring at the tablecloth. This man the pastor recognized from the neighborhood. He had often seen this man sitting alone on a bench, sipping coffee and quietly watching those passing by around him.
He had made a mental note to strike up a conversation with the man, but had not yet found the time to do so. He walked over and settled down on the pew next to the man, saying nothing. They sat in silence for some time, and the man finally spoke.
Where did you get that tablecloth, Pastor?
Oh, well...
It's identical to the one my wife made me years ago, when we were living in Austria. How could two tablecloths be so much alike?
Is your wife with you tonight?
Through tears, the man whose name was Joseph explained that when the war came, he forced his wife to flee for her safety. He had planned to join her shortly, but couldn't find her. He was eventually captured and imprisoned and never saw his wife again.
After the war, I searched and searched for my sweet Maria, but I couldn't find her. Eventually, I was relocated to the United States, but I have lived with such emptiness in my heart. Sometimes I search the crowd, hoping I might see her, but common sense keeps telling me that she probably did not survive the war, let alone make her way to Brooklyn.
The young pastor took a deep breath.
Would you be willing to take a ride with me in my car?
Now?
Right now.
Well, okay.
The pastor mysteriously told his wife of his need for the late Christmas Eve outing and secured her a ride back to their home, assuring her he would give her all the details upon his return.
Each man sat silently as they drove to Staten Island, to the same house the pastor had taken Maria just the day before.
They climbed the 3 flights of stairs that led to Maria's apartment.
Before we knock on this door, I want you to know that I could never, in my wildest imagination, understand the pain and horror that you've been subjected to in your life. But I want you to prepare yourself, because you are about to experience a miracle from God.
With that, the pastor turned and quietly left. But before he reached the bottom floor, his ears were treated to the heavenly sounds of the most joyful Christmas reunion he could have ever imagined.
Joseph?
Maria!
I never thought I would see you.
It's a miracle.
I must be dreaming.
I can't believe that.
We hope you have enjoyed the Fairhaven Christian Academy players' telling of the tablecloth. We pray blessings and joy over your Christmas season, and may you too experience your very own Christmas miracle as you celebrate your faith in Jesus.